Nostalgia. How can you feel nostalgia for a time when you didn't exist? Why do you feel nostalgia? Is it because you perceive the present as being far too complex? Or did those challenges remain the same as back then, but under different pretenses? Is it to honor those who have fallen since they've achieved glory? Or is it to hold on to the memory of what once was, while everything else slipped away? Do the heroes of today fill the shoes of the legends of those who came before? Or do they simply live in their shadows? Do you look at the past with rose-tinted glasses? Or are you able to see its imperfections for what they were? Are we as a species able to learn from our past to shape a better future? Or are we doomed to repeat the same mistakes time and time again, stuck in an endless loop of strife and despair? Well, I think that this is too big of a topic to cover in a series of Hotlap guys, and we should just enjoy the Screaming V10s for what they are. Welcome to Season 7 of the Fast Track. I'm finally bringing this series back out from the freezer, and the same could be said for the cars we'll be using. A pair of bona fide classics from the hotly contested 1997 Formula 1 Championship, the Ferrari 310B, driven by the legendary duo of Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine, and the equally venerable Williams FW19, piloted by Jacques Villeneuve and Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Despite how rudimentary both cars look on the outside compared to today's slick behemoths, they both represent how quickly F1 was evolving throughout the 1990s and into the new millennium. They were getting so fast, in fact, that by the very next year, the FIA would mandate grooved tires in order to slow down the cars in the name of safety. Getting down to brass tacks, the V10 engines behind each of these cars are capable of putting out around 750 brake horsepower, 340 newton meters of torque, and a distinct engine note that still reverberates with the F1 fans to this day. Pair them with a minimum car weight of 525 kilograms, and you have cars that carry incredible potential in the right hands. And what better place to start such a series than with the stalwart test track of choice for many an F1 team over many a year, the circuit at Estoril. Officially known as the Autodromo Fernando Pires de Silva, named as such in honor of the family responsible for its construction, it sprouted up in 1972, back when Formula 1 was hitting its growth spurt and it was in demand everywhere. However, this track would be overlooked on the world stage for the longest time, as the original company behind running and operating the track had been taken over by the state government, and as such quickly fell into disrepair, before new ownership would take over and renovate the track just in time for its F1 debut in 1984. And while it would continue to host and expand its international talent visiting the track in the years to come, financial hardship and safety concerns would become recurring problems for whoever was running it at the time. It got to the point where the national government put forward $6 million to once again renovate the facilities at the track to ensure its place in the 1998 schedule. However, this project saw setback after setback until it was eventually taken off of the schedule mid-season. The track would come under majority and then full government control, and would never again host an F1 race. In spite of this though, it would prove to be a favorite locale for off-season testing, as well as the World Superbike Series and the Sidecar World Championship? The more you know. Anyways, what makes this track perfect for shakedowns is both its evergreen location, being a half-hour's drive from Lisbon, as well as how most of the corners here have the car under intense G-loading that puts both car construction and setup to the test. With all that said, I'm going to give you the study sheet for the proverbial test in this first hot lap. Turn 1 requires a massive lift to get to the apex before powering back up, taking it flat through 2 while banging it off the limiter, and suddenly braking around the 100 board for 3. Turn 4 will catch you out if you're not ready for it. Brake and hold the car in the middle of the track, wash out, then cut back in for the late apex. One wrong move there can spell disaster. Use the overhead bridge as your braking reference for turn 6, then gradually throttle up, keeping the rears in check. Same story for 7, braking around the 100 board, but be careful not to unsettle the car going over the massive bump on exit. Turn 8 is downshift, lift, and flick, using all of the track available to you. Take a shallow exit out of 9, so you can carry as much speed as you can through 10 and 11, flat out to the finish. If my preamble about these cars in the Hotlap weren't enough to convince you, I'll tell you straight up. While these cars are absolutely fun to toss around, they are not for the faint of heart. While you can crutch yourself on the gobs of downforce they'll produce, you'll still have to adapt to the sensitivity of them to any sort of input going through slower speed sections. Another thing to watch out for is how hungry the cars are on fuel and tires, compared to the many other cars previously run in this league. Regarding advice particular to this track, the left side tires see way more punishment than the right, so tune the car accordingly. Finally, as per usual, here are your calculations for pretty much everything you'll need on race day. Honestly, it kinda feels weird coming back to this series after so long. Hopefully when we go to Keiichi next week, I'll be more at home. Until then, like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you then.